Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Black Queer Unapologetic. It's JoJo. In today's episode, you can kind of think of it as a part two, not so much as a sequel, because it might not be what you're expecting, and you probably can tell by the title. If you listened last week, then you know we got into some real talk about sexual chemistry, sexual positivity. Estefan came on and we talked about how we met and all the super happy adult fun time that we had. Those things all deserve space and honest dialogue in our community, 100%. But today's episode is called "And Celibate Plus Sober." And this one hits a little bit different. And if you've ever found yourself craving something deeper beyond a hookup, beyond attention, beyond the masks that we wear in these everyday, every week situations that we end up in, doesn't matter whether you're single or not, we're about to get into it. Because here's the truth. I was tired, and not just tired in the physical sense, but tired in the soul sense. Tired of performing and tired of giving and tired of people seeing me as just an experience to be had instead of a full person. And tired of feeling like intimacy had been replaced with transaction. And I know that I'm not alone in this way of thinking. I know that we live in a world that thrives off validation and attention economy where your body becomes your currency. So you have to look a certain way, act a certain way. The more attention you get, the more likes you get, the more value you have. This creates a situation where people engage with your image more than your energy, more than your essence, where the louder you are, the more attention grabbing you are, it screams sexy, or the more, I don't know, emojis you get, comments you get, likes you get, DMs you get, it makes you more valuable. But the moment that you show vulnerability and the moment that you show something real and not so quote unquote sexy, then the room gets quiet. And so I had to ask myself some hard questions. Who am I without sex? Who am I without alcohol? Who am I without the double taps, the DMs, the hookups, the scripted charisma that makes people lean in and want to engage with me? And the answer, I wasn't sure at first, but I knew that I wanted to find out. And so we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it.
Hey, black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. I know who I am, now you know what I'm about. I say the thoughts in my head out loud. Let's get into it, let's pick up the flow though. Brought to you by the one they call JoJo. Black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. Let's go.
First, let's talk about performing. We all perform in different ways. Some of us perform strength, others perfection. Some of us perform desirability. We tighten our bodies and post thirst traps for attention and validation. We flirt just enough to see if someone's interested, just to be seen, not too much to be questioned, but just to be seen. We move through dating and hookup culture like we're auditioning for roles that don't even come with anything more than just a cameo appearance. It's like, oh, here I am. I'm here. And the scary part is we don't even realize that we're doing it. I had to ask myself through this process, when I'm flirting, am I doing it because I'm actually attracted to them, or am I doing it because I want to feel wanted in this moment? Do I just need attention? Or do I actually like them? When I'm pouring a drink before I'm going out, is it because I'm enjoying a moment with my friends and celebrating the night out? Or is it because I don't feel like myself in that moment without a buzz? I need the liquid courage to push myself forward. When I'm having sex, is it because I'm truly craving intimacy, or am I using it to prove that I'm still desirable and still chosen and still worth it? Am I just pushing myself to have sex just to prove to myself and show myself that I can still do it? And that's a hard pill to swallow. At least it was for me. I started realizing I wasn't just having sex, I was performing sex. That I wasn't just drinking, I was numbing myself to the experiences that I was having because either I didn't want to be there or I needed to push myself to want to be there more. I wasn't just dating. I felt as if I was auditioning for someone to see me beyond what I could give. See me as more. Now, don't get it twisted. Because, like I said last week, I'm not anti sex. I'm not here to shame the body or the act or the pleasure. But hear me out. The contradiction is that we're often having sex without any connection at all. Any. Like, I don't even like this person, but I need to prove that I can still do it. I can still go out there and get the guy and all of that. That's not the bad part, though. We're having sex trying to feel connected, or at least I was. When what I was really doing is pouring myself out to people who have no interest in truly knowing me as a person. I am just a penis or a body or attention. I've always preferred regulars. Anybody that knows me in everyday life and knows my personal sex life, I prefer regulars. There's something comfortable about familiarity and knowing the rhythm and getting to know someone and them knowing you and respecting you, even if it's just a friends with benefit situation. Even in the peak of my hookup era, I always tried to humanize the people I was with. I didn't feel or want them to feel like a robot. I didn't want to feel like a robot running on a routine, just going through the motions. I like knowing their names, knowing their vibes, their favorite song, their struggle, their snack, whatever it is. That little window into humanity. I like that stuff. But as I get older, it's the more sad realization that most people out there, they don't want to be humanized. They want to be consumed. Or worse, they want to consume you. And when you start resisting that, when you start saying no to being consumed, when you stop the performing and put on the real face and the real you, and when you stop offering your body like it's a damn revolving door of a buffet, you watch how quickly people disappear. Let me give y'all some expanded tea. I don't like to get to know new people over and over again. I don't like letting strangers in my house, all of that stuff. So I also prefer to host. So there's that. But I don't like to have new hookups because I don't like random people coming in and out of my house all the time. That's just me. But I'm gonna give y'all some expanded tea because this one still has me scratching my head. And also maybe it'll make some sense as to why I think the way that I do and don't necessarily trust people or want to engage with randoms over and over again. Okay, so I mentioned before that I don't bottom often. It's not my go-to thing. I do consider myself verse, but it is what it is. There was this guy back in November of 2024, and I wasn't even looking for sex, by the way. Like I had my Grindr account. I was sitting on the couch watching a movie, eating popcorn. I was not, and this was in the middle of the day, by the way, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I've never met this person before. I get this random message from this guy. Profile blank, but he sends a picture. It's one of those exploding pictures. And he's cute. And he's like, oh, like I want to top you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. I'm not, I wasn't looking for sex. I'm like, he's cute. And okay, like maybe, let's see. And I told him that, well, let me try to see if I'm bottom ready because it had been months at this point since I had bottom, and I'm just like, I'm not about to do this and then have like a situation. So anyway, everything's good. He comes over and this man is fine. I'm talking finer than the pictures. The man standing in front of me was fine as fuck. And I'm talking like 1000% my type. Tall, my height, thick, swaggy, sexy ass smile, just thick. And he gave off just enough mystery to keep me intrigued, but also enough flirtation and charisma to make me feel comfortable. So we hooked up. It was great. I was supposed to bottom. I was bottoming and then he climbed on top of me and we flip fucked, which blew my freaking mind because the last time that I've been able to do that, I can't even tell you. And we finished everything up, both had a really good time. He's like, "Oh, give me your number. Like your mind's now," talking all this shit. I'm like, okay, whatever. If I, like, sure, dude. Now fast forward to a reconnection moment because he had been pressuring me to have a threesome, and I just was like, "Nah, I'm not trying to." And he was being really pushy about it. And he had sent me some pictures of him, and we had only hooked up twice at this particular moment. So he sent pictures of the guy that he wanted to have the threesome with. He also sent me pictures of him, or so I thought. We'll get to that. It started to feel like he had a black dude fetish. So I was like, nah, like I just started to lose interest. And I remember his face 100%. I remember what his body looks like. But when somebody's in front of you and they look better than their pictures, like I'm not even thinking about those pictures. I'm thinking about like what I have in front of me at the moment. The pictures that he had sent me, they were not nude pictures. It was like a close-up dick pic, like a zoomed in like ass pic. You know, like the ones that are you can't really tell like who it belongs to. You can just see like what's in the picture. And then he sent me some pictures that were somewhat clothed body shots. You know, like the ones that are like low key sexually suggestive, but still kind of casual ish. Then I didn't think that much of it. He looked similar to how I remembered him, like the thicker build and similar vibe, and I just assumed that it was him. Anyway, long story short, recently, I haven't seen this man because I got sick of him asking me for a threesome, and I was just like, no, dude, like I'm not doing it. Now, those pictures that he sent me that were clothed didn't have a face in them. So recently, and I'm thinking like, oh, this man is great. He's this, he's that, and just fine, right? No. Recently, I'm scrolling Facebook. I'm on Blue Sky, just minding my business. And I come across the same exact pictures that he sent me. Guess what, y'all? They not him. These were uncropped pictures. Those pictures that he sent me were cropped without the face in them. But the ones that I saw on Facebook and Blue Sky were the full picture. And that person's face is not his. There's somebody else entirely. And I zoomed in and I looked again and I'm like, no, that's not it. Not even close. And that's when it hit me. I got catfished. And here's the wild part. He looks good as hell in real life. Like genuinely attractive. I was confused. Like, why? Why? Send face pics or fake pics when you already look like a snack anyway. That's when I started connecting the dots and I remembered how flaky he was and how weird his schedule was and how he always had some vague excuses why he couldn't talk too long or come over, or he would flake when he said that he was going to come over. And I started to realize this man might have been lying about a lot more than just his pictures. Now, I know some of my friends probably know what I'm about to say because I am so guilty of this. So I have this man's number. I am a unlicensed detective. If I know your name, your phone number, I can find out who you are. I started just wondering, maybe he had a partner. Maybe he was juggling multiple lies, and I'm nosy as hell. I don't know. Maybe he was playing out some fantasy he couldn't be in real life. Anyway, well, I looked his ass up, and this man got a whole ass partner. They own a house together, all this other stuff. And I'm assuming all the lying, there's a reason for it. I don't know what the real reason for it is, but whatever the reason, it just left me feeling kind of confused and gross. Like I had participated in something that wasn't even real. It wasn't even like the hookup that I had imagined that actually took place. There was some shady shit behind it. Like I had been used in a way that I didn't consent to, or like I was just another player in this performance. And it made me pull back even more because even if the attractive, honest ones are lying, then what the hell are we even doing? I stepped all the way back. I got through the new year, went on a trip to Puerto Rico, and I was like, okay, like I just need a break from all this shit. So I went 90 days with no sex, 30 days with no alcohol. And no, I didn't do it for a badge or to brag or anything like that. I did it because I was tired of not knowing where I ended and the performance began, whether it involved just me or another person. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy at first when you've spent years of using sex and substances and social charisma and social media as armor, and stripping that away feels like standing naked in a cold ass room. But you do start to realize how often you lean on those things to feel okay. Performing the makeout sessions, performing the sex, take the shirt off, do this, do that, to feel lovable, to feel seen, to feel sexy, to feel enough. And the most surprising part was how quiet things got. Because the moment I took sex off the table, people started ghosting. The moment I told men I wasn't drinking, they stopped inviting me to go anywhere. The moment I said, I want to build something slow or I want to get to know you more without all the alcohol and distractions and all that shit, the responses got short, dry, or they just disappeared entirely. So I'm going to tell you about one of them. There's this guy that I've known for a while, and we used to go to the same gym. Cute, charming, energy was good. And we never really hung out one-on-one, but he always would like show interest and all of that. And we had been vibing recently over text, and he seemed emotionally intelligent, and he was asking questions and showing interest. And we set up a date, and I could tell he wanted to ask me out. Like I could tell, but he just wouldn't do it. But he pushed himself to do it, and he did it. And I'm one of them dudes, like, if I could tell that you're into me, but you just not making a move, like, I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to make it easy for you. I want you to be able to speak up for yourself. Anyway, before the date, he asked me respectfully why I was celibate and why I was having sex. And I explained it to him, and I appreciated that he asked, and I told him the truth, and I wasn't ashamed of it or anything like that. I told him that I was focused on reconnecting with myself and that I wanted to build something deeper, and not just with another person, but also deeper with myself. That I didn't want to rush or perform or use sex as a shortcut to intimacy and get all that shit confused. And he said he understood. Okay. So date comes up. It's chill. Nothing extravagant. We went, we got lunch, we laughed, talked, had a good conversation. Conversation was flowing. On the date, he asked me more questions about me being celibate and all of that stuff. And I left feeling good about it. So a couple days later, I'm recording one of these episodes, and I'm doing it with another person, so I wasn't looking at my phone. And I'm getting text messages from him, but I'm not looking at them because I'm recording one of these episodes. So by the time I get to my phone, there's an ass pic on my phone. And I stared at my phone like, you really missed the whole point of that conversation, huh? Like, did you hear anything that I said, or did you just not and wait for your chance to flip the script? I don't know, or try to convince me. And I think he realized what he did. And I'm not trying to trash talk the dude or anything like that, but basically what happened is that because I didn't respond to the ass picture, he tried to figure out an excuse for it. And he said that he wanted to show off his gym progress. I was like, bro, that's just an ass pic. Like, it was literally a clothed picture with just ass. And so I'm like, what gym progress are you showing up? Just your ass. It's a sexualized ass picture. At least to me it was. Somebody might disagree. And he was apologetic about it. I just explained to him like, hey, like, just don't do that again. Like, this is not where I'm at right now. Like, we're good. Like, I'm not mad or anything. I just, like, this is not what I'm signing up for right now. I just realized that where I am is going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, because what I'm trying to escape from, a lot of people are still in. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, and I'm not saying that they need to do what I'm doing. But it felt like to be closer to me, to bridge a gap of some sort, he was using sex in order to do that via the ass pic. And rather than trying to get to know me in a way that was through intellect and emotional intimacy. And maybe he was trying to see if I would crack or break my boundary if he could outlast me saying no. But it ended right there. I didn't end it. We just stopped talking. I sent the last text message. No response. Make of that what you will. And somebody's listening to this and probably thinking, JoJo, these are hookups, this and that. No. So the first one was a hookup. This guy, he wanted to date. I'm using that in quotes. Can't see it, but there's quotes. But that ain't it, y'all. That ain't it. Then there was another guy. Mind you, all this has happened in less than a year. Like, where are we right now? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So in the last 6 months, this one really got under my skin. Beautiful, beautiful black man came in hot, telling me how much he liked me, how he was interested in me, wanted to get to know me, saying how rare I was, talking a real big game, saying he loves my energy, my vibe, presence, all this shit. He said all the things that make you pause and think maybe this guy is a little different. But the moment I cut off the overly sexual talk, he started to squirt. Mind you, I never had sex with this person. He was just a very sexual person, and I told him that I wanted to build a connection with him if this is what he was interested in. And I told him I wasn't sending any nudes, that I wanted real conversation, connection, and truth. And you know what he said? If we aren't gonna fuck, can you at least send me some pics? I said no. And he said nothing. Ever. Gone. Just like that. And again, I realized these men weren't drawn to my soul. They weren't drawn to genuine interest in me. They were drawn to performance and the idea of what they could get to me, to a fantasy, to the idea of what I could give to them. And when they couldn't get it, they vanished. First guy couldn't get a threesome, gone. Second guy couldn't have sex with me, gone. Third guy wanted nudes, couldn't get him, gone. So, look, I'm just saying if you want to fuck, you don't have to disguise a friends with benefits or a hookup situation as a date. If you come in with the right energy and the honesty of what you actually want with me, you probably can get it. It's just that when you try to dupe me and play me like a fool, like I don't know what I'm seeing or what I'm talking about, that's when you get nothing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because at the end of the day, I know there are people who think that that's, you're being picky or you have standards too high. Asking somebody to tell you the truth and just be upfront about what they want, I don't think that that's asking for too much. That's just asking for you to just be straightforward, really. So if you can't do that, you get nothing. But the point of it all, will I drink again? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I'm not. Am I still celibate? No. I had sex the other day. But I have reconnected with myself by taking that break. And I know that I have a lot to offer. And I know that I'm fine as hell. And I know that I'm worthy and I'm still whole. But now I know that I'm all of those things without the alcohol, without the sex, without the attention, without the social media likes, without all that shit. No external validation impacts my worth or how I felt about myself. And what I found in that process was peace and clarity and internal strength of identity. Not performative strength, but soft, steady strength. I'm in my soft guy era. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself. I don't need to go have sex with you to prove that I'm good in bed or that I'm sexy or that I'm worthy. I don't need to send you pictures in order to convince you that I'm worthy of attention or having sex with or flirting with or any of that. I've developed a strength that isn't afraid to walk away from things without anger and annoyance. I can just be like, this isn't for me, and just walk away from it and be okay with that. And know that I am enough without all of that external shit. And even when people choose to walk away from me and I'm not being consumed, that I know who I am. All right, y'all. So we've talked about performance. We talked about disappearing men. I told y'all about ass pics and catfishers and people who were never really trying to see me. I don't know if any of y'all have been through something similar, but if you're listening to this and you're in a similar space, or maybe you're tired of the chase, the fake connections, the ghosting, the constant performing, let me tell y'all, you're not broken. You're not too much. You are not too complicated. You're not late. You are simply in a season of coming home to yourself. There is nothing wrong with taking a break from substances or sex to reconnect with yourself and to stop outsourcing your value. When you stop chasing temporary highs, when you stop trying to be enough for people who can't hold you, you start becoming enough for yourself. And that's the beginning of everything. Sit with those questions and let me know whatever comes up. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening to another episode of Black Queer Unapologetic. As always, stay Black, stay queer, and always stay unapologetic. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.